Jack, I'm hoping you can explain PREVENT to me. What is PREVENT?
PREVENT is quite simple. The government wants all relevant organisations, including HTP Apprenticeship College, to do all it can to make sure vulnerable learners who could be influenced by others are not drawn into terrorist activities or end up supporting terrorism. In other words, we're trying to prevent people from being radicalised.
You know what I'm going to ask now. What do you mean by radicalisation?
Radicalisation is the actual process by which someone comes to support terrorism. They are encouraged and inspired by others to develop extreme views, and as a result they may become opposed to our society's core values and principles. Things like the rule of law, democracy, liberty, and mutual respect and tolerance of different religions and beliefs. These are our fundamental British values.
But don't we also have free speech or freedom of expression?
We do have freedom of expression, and that's part of living in a democracy. However, we also have laws to protect people when that freedom of expression crosses the line and incites people to cause harm or death to others.
I see all that, but extremism and radicalisation is all to do with some Muslims supporting the so-called Islamic State and joining them to fight in Syria, right?
Extremism is not restricted to what is happening in places like Syria today. Of course, that's very much in the news at the minute. Extremism, though, also includes groups or individuals such as animal rights extremists who have in the past resorted to parcel bombs and arson, Irish Republican extremists who have killed and maimed, and in our area the biggest threat is far more likely to be from the far-right anti-immigration extremists like the English Defence League who resort to violence and intimidation.
But even still, if something awful is going to happen, we will be okay here.
It's not just about London. Who would have expected an extremist bomber to target children at the concert in Manchester? And yes, we've also had the bridge attacks in London, including the murders in and around Borough Market and the attack outside the mosque in North London. Terrorist attacks like this or from any other extremists could happen anywhere or in multiple locations. If or when something else does happen, it could involve us, our loved ones, our families, and that's equally relevant to learners at HTP Apprenticeship College. By being vigilant, we could prevent this. You see, that word again.
So, on a practical level, what can I do?
If you're concerned that someone is being radicalised, maybe by voicing opinions drawn from extremist ideologies, or imposing extremist or anti-Western or anti-British views on others, or just acting in a way that you feel is in conflict with the fundamental British values we've mentioned earlier, then, if appropriate, and you feel confident to do so, you could challenge their opinions and actions. This could be as simple as asking them where they got their information from. Is there evidence to support their view? You should also let your training consultant know of your concerns. This isn't about grassing on anyone, it's about playing your part in preventing something awful happening.
Thanks, Jack. That's been really helpful. Is there anywhere else I can get information on PREVENT and fundamental British values?
There is further information and some useful video clips on MyHTP, and your training consultant will be discussing this in more detail with you throughout your time in training with us. You shouldn't be afraid to ask questions on this subject or anything around safeguarding or diversity and inclusion with any of the staff at HTP Apprenticeship College. It really is interesting stuff.